All right, it looks like we're about 5:30, so I'll call to order for the meeting. If you would all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Cindy, would you please conduct roll call?
Brian Schultz,
Present.
Glenn Patterson, Lewis Worthy, Mark Taylor,
Here.
Mike Barton,
Here.
Terrence Concanon, Tony Castlefort,
Here.
Jeffrey Anderson,
Here.
Katrin Phillips, Kaylin Hirsch.
Here.
You have a quorum.
We have a few new members of the board. If they wouldn't mind just taking a brief moment to introduce themselves, that would be great.
My name is Jeff Anderson. I live here in Havasu since 2011. New alternate pilot member for several months, but first meeting.
My name's Kaylin Hirsch. I'm 26 years old. I've been pilot for 5 years, and I'm lived in Havasu for about 8 years, and I'm a new alternate member.
My name's Mike Barton. Moved to Havasu in 1979. Been a pilot since 1977. Veteran.
We appreciate the three of you joining us, and I look forward to having you on board and hearing your insights. We'll now have our call to the public. We will have the open meeting call to the public for citizens wishing to address the board on issues within the jurisdiction of the board. Your comments must be limited to 3 minutes or less. If you wish to address an item already on today's agenda, you should wait until the item is announced for a public hearing. At the conclusion of the open call to the public, individual members of the board may respond to criticism made by those who address the board, may ask the staff to review the matter, or may ask the matter to be placed on a future agenda. However, board members cannot discuss or take legal action on matters not already on the agenda. We'll now open the call to the public. And seeing that it doesn't look like we have anybody for the call to the public, I look for a motion to approve the minutes from our January 20th meeting.
So moved.
Have a second?
I second.
So we have Mark Taylor and Tony. That'll take us up to our communication announcement airport supervisor's report. Damon, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Brian. So we've got 6 active grants going at the airport right now. We received the grant offer for the taxiway alpha the other day for $7.9 million. We also received the grant to do the runway design, which is around $250,000 as well. And we've got a couple of state grants for the fire hydrant project. That's going to be around $450,000, and then the infield erosion project, it's another $450,000. Then we've got a couple of COVID grants as well that have come in at $23,000 and $59,000. And report our fuel flowage fee has actually, we looked over those numbers. It's amazing how strong that is. It's actually a 60% increase since 18-19 fiscal year this year. We've pumped well over 1 million gallons this last year, whereas in 18-19 we were just right under 700,000. So it's been good news. Revenues came in above expected, well over 10% at that for last year. That was good. We had lots of different developments and ways of maintaining or getting on top of some vehicle parking, things like that, but just really staying on top of all the invoices, things of that nature. We've had a good solid year. One thing I want to talk about is we've been talking about these gate card readers for a long time. We've got the cards now. We have the card readers. We're going to try to go ahead and implement that on August 4th. And so we want to ask everybody to go ahead and, you know, when you need access to get onto the airport, you're going to now need a card to get in. And Cindy has those in her office available. So anytime between now and 1st of October, really hope that you get in there and get your card, because come October 1st, it won't be a keypad anymore.
I have a question. Is the card going to work at every gate? In other words, all be uniformly carded?
For the most part, yes.
Okay.
We'll have a few for different vendors and things like that. They'll have
Okay.
specific gates that they're allowed in and out of, but for the most part, everybody will have access to all gates.
Thank you.
And then we are still working on hangar development. We've got some engineers involved, and we were going to also be putting out some RFPs this year for a couple of different areas. So we're working on that pretty hard. Definitely more developments coming with that. And that concludes my report. I'll move into the upcoming events. That's all right. One thing we're having on September 11th is there's going to be a memorial bike ride that's going to start at the airport and leave from out of there. I don't have a lot of specifics on it just yet, but if you want to learn more about that, you can always reach out to Cindy, and she's got the information of the people putting that on as well. And then on November 13th, we have the Havasu Air Race is going to be happening again this year, which is a pretty fun event. And yeah, and more information on that, like I say, just come see us at the airport. We have the information. We'll get you in touch with Shannon. She's one of the 99s that's going to be doing that. And that's all the upcoming events I have.
No air show this year? Hangar 24, are they doing their thing this year? Or?
No, the Airfest got canceled again. We're definitely going to work on that if, you know, trying to put something together ourselves if they're not on board to do it again next year. But we're going to start working on that actually pretty soon as well.
Thank you, Damon. That'll take us up to 7.1, which is the public hearing discussion of possible action of Airport Advisory Board elections. We do have a vacant seat for chairman position that needs to be filled. And that's one of the goals of this evening. If there's anybody that wants to nominate a chairman of the board, now would be great, or I can come up with a nomination.
I'll nominate Brian Schultz. Since you love running meetings.
And I'm going to nominate Tony. So we'll just, the way it's set up, we'll do a vote. Actually, I'm sorry. We need a motion to have a vote, and we'll do each one independently. Can I get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to a vote on either Brian Schultz or Tony for the chairman's position.
And I'll second it.
So I think the easy way to do this is we can just do through the mic. We had talked about either doing this written or verbally, and we'll just do it verbally. So the first one would be a motion for Tony Calsifort to be the chairman. And if you would, as a board member, just anybody for, we'll start with that.
I don't think anybody really knows me very well. So I'm a 13,000-hour captain of the Gulfstream 450, 550, also 747, and just a bunch of different type ratings. Been flying for 13,000 hours, about 37, 38 years now. Living in Havasu, and I work with the Sheriff's Department out on the water as a boating safety officer when I'm not flying. And then I guess that's really about it. I care about Havasu a lot. Yeah, a lot.
Thank you, Tony. So I will start off with a vote for Tony as the chairman of the airport board. Is there anybody against or for?
I'm for.
Well, that makes it easy. That's unanimous. So
Will you stay on as vice chairman though?
I will.
Is
As
that
far as I
correct?
know, my term is still for another year. Is correct, Damon? I believe that is correct.
As long as that's
Absolutely.
the case, then if it's appropriate, then I accept this position then, as long as you're gonna.
Outstanding. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Tony.
Item 7.2 is the discussion of the taxiway Alpha Rehabilitation Project. And I'll turn that back over to Damon.
Yeah, so I just want to definitely let everybody know that this, we got the grant for that. This project's been going on a long time. We actually submitted the scope of work back in December of 2018. It's gone on for a good bit. We were slated to actually do this construction last year. We had some supplemental funding we were supposed to get done that got swept from us, and that's what pushed it back a year. But lo and behold, now that it's pushed back this year with the COVID relief bills and things that have gone through Congress, they now pay in these grants at 100%. So we've come across now getting this grant at full 100% with no match to the city, which is a very big deal in my opinion. So we've gotten all the way down. We put the solicitation for the construction on in April. We sent it out for a couple of weeks. We had 5 bidders came back in with bids ranging from $11.5 million down to $6.4 million to do this construction project. The low bidder, Combs Construction, which is a reputable company out of Glendale, Arizona, they're the ones that we're going to recommend the award to go to. And that's going to be in front of City Council next Tuesday, August 10th. The project is slated to last roughly 225 days. It's going to be in 3 phases. First phase is just going to be to Alpha 5 to Alpha 6, which is going to be the small one. That's going to give FBO their access to the field at all times. That's scheduled for 45 days on that project. And then we move to phase 2 and 3, and both of those are scheduled for 90-day phases.
Is there a break between each phase, or does it go straight?
It's just
Straight through.
across. Yeah, and like I say, this 225 days, we're hoping to see, it ending mid-April or so. If all goes as planned, that City Council award goes through and they get the notice to proceed, they're going to start working on it. We're anticipating a start date first day after Labor Day, September 7th, I believe it is. Don't plan on having any closures during the daytime. We will be doing some closures at nighttime. Anytime that they're going to be working on the connectors that are going to the runway, we will have those closed. There will be several nighttime closures with the thing, but we're going to do, everything in our power to let everybody know ahead of time that that's going to be happening.
Damon, just real quick. So starting on September 7th, you said that it'll be start with Alpha 5 to Alpha 6. So that'll be closed.
Yes, the taxiway will be closed.
Okay.
Right. When I said closures earlier, I meant runway closures.
Okay.
Airport's going to stay open.
That's why
operations. Right.
Who notifies the FAA about runway closures and stuff?
I'll do that. They're pretty much already aware that we're going to be having those things, but I'll be sending out NOTAMs every time we have one of those. I can only send out a NOTAM 48 hours in advance at that, but we'll do that as soon as that time's available.
And Damon, just to be clear as well, with these taxiway closures, we're still not going to have any midfield takeoffs. We're going to expect everybody to back taxi on the runway.
As of right now, yes, sir. That's my suggestion. We'll look into it a little bit more, but as of right now, yeah, that's where it stands. We'll just do some back taxiing. I know it'll be a little inconvenient, and there's going to be some growing pains through some of this, but the outcome will be good. Any more questions? This, like I say, discussion, I really would love to answer any questions anybody has. It's this is going to really be a big project for a long time at the airport. And to be honest, if everything goes smooth, by the time this one's wrapping up, we're going to be opening up the new one for the runway because we're working on the design for it. So hopefully
was my
we'll
next
move
question.
right into the runway and rehabilitation.
And besides the construction company, we have an engineering company that's on board with this as well, correct?
Yes, CNS is still going to be conducting the construction management for this project, and they'll be making sure that the construction company is doing all the proper testing, materials and things like that, making sure that the project's done correctly.
I wonder, are they going to put offices in, some sort of a trailer somewhere at your airport?
They will have something of a sort. We haven't necessarily even decided, I guess, exactly where that's going, but yeah, they'll have some kind of a job trailer and muster spot out there.
Can you just briefly discuss what the runway rehabilitation is?
It's just going to be a mill and overlay. It's not going to be near as extensive as a taxiway. Shouldn't take near as long as well. We're also, just to throw in there, I'm also putting out a solicitation to do a temporary type seal coat on the runway to get us until next year, because we do have a lot of unraveling, of the runway. So we're going to be doing that here within the next month. We should have that solicitation out and hopefully have that project going within the next 3 months or so as well. Any other questions? And also those 2 state grants that I mentioned earlier, we're going to do those 2 projects towards the tail end of this taxiway project. One of them is the infield erosion rock that's actually going around the connectors that are out there. So until we get the connectors put in and all that, they can't actually do that project. And then we will, sometime during the construction, we're going to throw in and get those hydrants replaced as well. That shouldn't be a long project. But nobody has any more questions. That's, and anybody in the public, this is definitely a big deal. Feel free to come by my office anytime. I've got plans, prints. We can answer any question, get you in touch with engineers, anything you need to know. We're definitely all about trying to be transparent and, and make this go as smoothly as possible.
Thank you, Damon. That leads us up to item number 8, future discussion items for upcoming meetings.
Do we have anything on the hangars we discussed at the last meeting? Where are we at as far as hangars? Is it to the council or?
Well, yeah, they, like I said, I've got some engineers working up some, quotes and bids for us, what infrastructure will take to do that. And then I'm also going to be putting out a solicitation, request for proposals in 2 different areas as of right now. That's my plans. And I hope to have those out within the next 2 months. Hopefully in October, we should have those out and ready to go.
Perfect.
And I apologize, I should have closed that open meeting as well, the public hearing portion. Future meetings, item number 9 is September 15th is what we're slated for, followed by October 20th, which hopefully Damon will have a little more information on those RFPs then. If there's nothing else, then I would look for a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.